Hey, welcome back to Total Package Pilates and Wellness. I am Mel and we have another mat workout for you today. I've been loving your comments, your DMs. Thank you so much. It means so much to me that you choose to move your body with me. I know you have a lot of options. So today we're going to be using our Pilates ball and some optional hand weights. These are 5 pounds. I recommend 3 to 5 pounds, but if you don't have hand weights, simply grab some water bottles, some shoes, whatever you have lying around, cans of food. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to set my props to the side for the moment just so that we can have a quick warm up. So let's go ahead and start hands and knees, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Go ahead and take some cat-cow. So I'm going to sink my stomach down as I reach my tailbone and crown of my head up toward the ceiling. Deep inhale here into the ribs, into the torso. Exhale, round through your upper back. Get a nice stretch, tailbone down toward the floor. Press into your palms. One more, arching through the back. Letting the ribs flare open. Exhale, round. I'm going to tuck my toes under. I'm going to press back into a down dog, trying to get my torso, my chest as flat toward the floor as I can. Think chest out, tail out here. You should feel a good stretch through your hamstrings. Start to pedal through your heels. Good. I'm going to ripple and roll my spine forward into a plank position. And then I'm going to think again about finding that good stretch through my thoracic as I roll myself back into my downward dog. Now some options here. We're just going to open up through our hips. So I'm going to come into a bent knee on my right leg. And I'm going to bring that knee up toward the ceiling. Open my hips into external rotation. And if it feels available to you, go ahead and extend that leg long. You can play around with bending and flexing, straightening through that leg. You can lift and lower your left heel a little to see how that stretches through your hamstring on that left side. And then I'm going to bring those right toes down, bend that right knee or my left knee into my chest, open up through that left side, externally rotate that hip, stretch here through my side body. And then if it's available, straighten through that leg, bend and straighten that left leg. Play around with lifting and lowering that right heel to maximize the stretch through your groin, through the back of that right leg. And then we'll bring those left toes down. We'll come into all fours and we will grab our ball. We will grab our weights and let's get to this workout. So we're not going to use our weights right away, but I do want them placed somewhere near you so that they'll be available as we move through our sequences. So place them up toward the top of your mat where your upper body will be, and then we're going to come and lie down. I'm going to place the ball right between my ankles and make sure I have a good lock on that ball. We're going to go ahead and roll our spines down onto the mat. Adjust your hair as needed if it's going to be in your way. We're going to be in a bridge series. So we'll go ahead and start to move through this. Walk your heels in so that they're somewhere in the proximity of your fingertips. And then from here, we'll just start with a little articulation of our pelvis. You'll start to tuck your pelvis, which means you're lifting your tailbone up from the mat. And then you'll start to tilt your pelvis, which means you're arching through your spine. And that tailbone is lengthening away from you. We're tucking and we're tilting. Now, this is great hip mobility work. I want you to pause in your neutral spine, natural curves of your back. And the next time you tuck your pelvis, bringing your hips towards your ribs, I want you to take a deep inhale and exhale and use your abs to do that motion. So let's put our brains in our low abs. This is so important. We're going to inhale and then exhale. I'm squeezing my abs and my abs are pulling to draw my hips towards my ribs. So I'm going to release that. I'm going to inhale, expand, exhale, squeeze my abs and have my abs pull my hips towards my ribs. You can tell I can barely talk because I'm actually really working my core deeply here. So I want you to find that connection. You can pause this video and just really sink into your body. Otherwise, let's go ahead and use our abs now to roll all the way up into our bridge. So take an inhale, press your forearms into the mat, exhale, use your abs to roll up into your bridge. Now pause at the top of your bridge. Make sure your shoulders are gliding down your back, your collarbone is wide, you're just to those tops of your shoulder blades here in this bridge, and there should be a long line from my sternum through my pubic bone, through my knees. I'm thinking my knees are pulling over my toes and my rib cage is heavy towards the mat. It's closed into the midline of my body. My abs are engaged. Lots of things to think about here. So go ahead and start to roll and sink down. Sternum, mid back, find that stretch through your low back and then lengthen that tailbone away from you as you inhale. Let's roll up just 2 more times. Exhale, squeeze, roll up. Keep those abs nice and engaged at the top of your bridge. And you do have the sense of a slight tuck of your pelvis to get these glutes nice and engaged. And then you articulate down. We're going to roll up 1 more time and we're going to hold at the top. So go ahead and roll into that bridge. Make sure you're maintaining about a 10 to 15% pressure. Squeeze on that ball. Check in with your form. And then from here, we're just going to hinge our hips about halfway down and come all the way back up, finding that extra little squeeze of the glutes at the top. We're here for 10 like this. And this is our first layer. You can always come back to this if at any point the additional layers aren't feeling right for you today. Bridging is phenomenal work for your entire core, which includes your back and your abs. We're going to do 3 more like this, and then we're going to add some lifts of our heels in 2, in 1. Pause at the top. Now, as you lower your hips, I want you to lift your heels and then plant your heels down with intention as you raise your hips back up in opposition. So we lift our heels as we lower our hips, and then we plant those heels down, squeeze our glutes, raise up. Let's do 8. 7, squeeze and lift. 6, keep doing your body scans as you move through this. Make sure those ribs aren't flaring open at the top. Really good, you guys. We're going to add on in 4, in 3, in 2, in 1. Lift up, heels stay lifted. My heels are high. If you need to walk your toes in a little bit to take it more into your glutes and out of your hamstrings, that's fine. Make sure you have that good squeeze on the ball. We're going to add a flare open of our knees at the top of our bridge. And then I want you to squeeze those knees in toward one another. And we keep the heels lifted as we lower down halfway. Lift all the way up. Open for the butterfly. Squeeze in. Lower halfway. So what you should really notice here, specifically as you squeeze back in from opening your knees because of the ball, more activation in the base of that glute. So go ahead and squeeze in. Lower halfway. Lift all the way up. We're going to do 8 like this. Lift up 7. Lift up. Butterfly those knees, squeeze back in. As I squeeze back in, I'm thinking about trying to squeeze something almost between my butt cheeks. Good. Hamstrings should be working here as well. Keep those heels high.
We're going to pulse up in 3, in 2, in 1. Pause at the top, open for your butterfly. Raise your arms up. Give me pulses up, up with the hips. Good for 10, 9. Hands can always go back down to the mat if you need to. This is an added challenge. 5, 4, you're not finished yet. 3, almost there. 2, hold here. Squeeze in, in, in. Bringing those knees toward each other. Working the opposition of that ball. Squeezing those glutes. Keep tucking your pelvis. You're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll all the way down. Hug your knees in. Rock side to side. Hopefully you felt that good spicy warm up here. We're going to actually keep the ball between our ankles, but if you need a moment to open out your legs, butterfly them out, rock side to side, whatever you need to do. And your feet can just stay in hook line for the moment. I'm going to grab my weights here. Just going to hook my hair clip for later. All right, so grab your weights. We're going to bring them right over our shoulders. And you guys, if at any point the weights just are feeling like too much, you can absolutely do all of this without the weights. We're going to do some abdominal flexion to start. So I want to go ahead and engage my core. I'm going to exhale, squeeze my abs, roll up probably a little higher than the tips of your shoulder blades. What you'll notice about the weights is that they work as a lever to help you get curled up a little bit higher. And then you'll just articulate back down. So I'm just curling up, using my abs, and I'm slow with control, lowering down so that I'm working both the concentric exertion of my core and also the eccentric as I descend back down with my head and my chest. So we're obviously going to add on to this here shortly. But just getting this motion into our bodies. And of course, you can always come back to this. What you may start to notice as we work through this series is the front anterior portion of your shoulder starting to get some work. So that's phenomenal. We're going to raise our legs into tabletop in 3. Exhale, curl up. Make sure that ball is secure between your ankles. Good. The next time you're down, pause here, hold, check in with your collarbone, make sure it's nice and wide. We raise our legs into tabletop. They're just going to stay there. We're going to curl up and lower. Curl up, reach. Lower with control. Make sure that your knees are right over your hips. That is more challenging when you're doing any sort of Pilates curls up or any curls in life. But a modification, if this feels like too much or you're feeling it in your low back, is to bring those knees slightly over your navel. Really good. We're going to add on to this with a bicep curl, holding our flexion in 3. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lower with control. One more like this. Okay, the next time we curl up, we're going to hold that curl, so get ready. Hold your curl. Stay lifted in your chest. Can you bicep curl those weights in towards your face for a hammer curl? Extend the arms back out straight, and then lower your chest. So you will notice you really have to squeeze your abs here as you hammer curl. And then work the abs to control that lower. We'll just do 6 more like this, and then we're gonna add on. Exhale, curl. Control, stay lifted if you can. Don't let those weights push you back. Let's do 4. You've got it, guys. Exhale, stay lifted. Inhale, lower. This is 2. We're gonna add the legs in 1. So curl up, hammer curl, extend your legs to 45, bend the knees in, straighten the arms, lower the head. We have 8 like that, and then a grand finale, just so that you know what's coming. I always like to know what's coming. Now if extending the legs does not feel good to you, you can skip it, or you can just extend a little higher of an angle, and that will be less challenging than taking them out to 45. I just want you to feel like you're activating the right muscles in your body versus doing choreography, no matter who you're working with. So I tell all of my clients, all the girls in my classes, it's not about doing exactly what someone else is doing or what I'm doing. It's about using the muscles that we're trying to activate, which here is your low abs and your top abs. Good. Let's do 4 like this, and then we're gonna hold lifted. Exhale, stretch those legs away, bend those arms in, stay lifted through your chest. Give me 1 more like that. Keep drawing those abs down. All right, we're gonna hold it lifted, get ready. We hold in. We're gonna stay lifted and just work the arms and the legs for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend in, straighten, lower. You can set those weights down to the side for a moment, and then extend those legs out long. Try not to lose that ball. We're gonna bring our arms up overhead in line with our ears, and we're just gonna roll ourselves up. So exhale, engage that core to slowly, slowly articulate all the way back up. Sit nice and tall. We're gonna grab our ball and we're gonna put it behind our mid back. So we are not nearly done with our abs just yet. If you know anything about my workouts, I love the ball for abs, and I feel like it would be a miss not to do a mid back series here. So let's go ahead and do some of my favorite exercises that I'm loving right now. I'm going to transfer my hands behind my head. Now the key, if you've never done ball behind the mid back, is get it in a place, maybe move around a little bit, where you can tuck your pelvis and feel like your abs are driving kind of back into your spine, back into that ball. So we're not just like lounging on the ball, we're working, we're in flexion. Hands come behind the head, we're going to lower just to a flat back, and then we're just going to lift from the sternum. Just starting here, nice and easy. Exhale as you lift, inhale as you lower. And my feet are just hip distance apart, heels lined up with your sits bones. And if at any point having your hands behind your head feels like too much, a great tip is reach them long and forward. That change in the weight will actually help you continue to work through a set. So you can always do that for a couple reps even, and then get back to it with your hands behind your head. We're going to start to add on here with our right leg coming into tabletop in 4, In 3, 2, in 1. As you lower, I want you to lift, bring your right leg to tabletop, and then you lower that leg as you lower the chest. Right leg, tabletop, and lower. We'll just start on this right side. Let's do 8, 7, 6, we add on in 5, exhale 4, 3, how are those abs feeling? 2, 1. Now the next time you lift, we're going to do a double twist to the side. So I'll show you what it looks like. We're going to lift, twist, reach our left arm past our right leg, back to center, twist, reach, and lower. We'll just do 6. Lift, twist and reach, center, twist and reach, center, and lower. This is extra hard because we are maximizing the time under tension of our abs. Exhale as you twist, inhale center, exhale twist reach, inhale lower. Let's just do 3. This is 2. Try to keep this right elbow nice and wide. You can always place a hand on the mat if you need to. 1 more. Twist, reach, center. Reach, center. Take a moment, stretch over that ball. Open up those abs. You can adjust that ball as you need to. We have to do it all on the other side. So, when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and lower that chest down. And then we're going to lift our left leg to tabletop as we just come and curl up to the center for 10. Fresh oblique. 8. Exhale 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. We add those twists in 2. Think about sliding your ribs down towards your hips as you do this curl up. In 1, let's start to twist. So, raise, twist, reach my right hand long past my left thigh. I come back to center, and I twist and I reach. And then I lower down. Let's do 6. Twist, reach, center, twist, reach, center, and lower. Exhale. 4 more, you guys. Seems like so many. I hope you're feeling this. I would love to know it. Please comment and let me know. 2 more. Twist, reach, center, twist and reach, center, lower. 1 more. And then you get a bit of a reset. And lower. Oh, feels so good to take that rest afterwards. All right, so I want you to get your weights by you. And again, you do not have to use weights for this if it doesn't feel right to you. We're going to bring that ball again right around that mid-back kind of broad line heart monitor area. And I'm going to grab my weights into my hands. I'm going to put them kind of like right around my collarbone where my shoulder meets my torso. And I'm going to find a slight lower and just a little lift up still to start. Just kind of testing the waters here. We're going to start in with some jabs. So the next time we lift, we go down. We're going to lift. We're going to stay lifted. I'm going to jab overhand, so palm faces down to the floor with my right hand. Come back through center. Jab with my left. Back to center and lower. Curl. Jab to the right. Or jab with the left to the right. And lower. We'll do 8. And if you want to, you can alternate your leading jab hand. You certainly do not have to. So you could go left to start and then right. Right. Left. Use that breath. Exhale. Exhale. Good. You can always play around with the angle of that jab. We have 3 more like this. Jab, jab. Last one. We jab, jab. Now I want you to hold out on that left side and you just go up and down with the torso. So you're staying in a slight rotation. You're just holding that weight in that jab. If it feels like too much, you can drop that weight. We're just here for 5, 4, 3. We go straight to the other side in 2, 1. Pull in. Reach forward. Up. Try not to come off that ball. I know I basically am. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come in. Whew. All right. Let's come off that ball. Get a sip of water if you need it. We are going to set our ball to the side for the moment. We will come back and use it again so you can pop it under your mat. And we're just going to need one of our weights to start. We're going to come back into our glutes, and we're going to go ahead and pop our weight behind our knee. If this doesn't feel comfortable to you, you can absolutely do all of this without the weight, or you can always roll it up in a towel. So, hand options. Hands are going to be under shoulders. You could come down to your forearms if you need to. We'll be on our forearms a little later. But I want you to go ahead and flex that right foot so that we can punch our heel up toward the ceiling. The shape of your torso is not changing. Make sure you're staying nice and engaged through your core here. And you're just lifting, using that glute and lowering knee to knee. We're going to do 8 like this, and then we're going to add on. Lift toward that ceiling, heel to the sky. 5, 4, 3, kind of hard not to lose that weight. There's like a balance challenge here. Make sure your hips are staying nice and level. You can always place a hand on the back of your pelvis. We're going to add a double pulse up. So pulse, pulse, lower knee to knee. Pulse, pulse, lower knee to knee. We'll do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Can you tent those left fingers on the mat to make sure your weight is staying in this working side? 2. We're just going to take pulses in 1. So the next time you lift up, I just want you to hold it up. Just pulse that heel toward the ceiling. It is tiny for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Good, you guys. Adjust that weight if you need to. We're gonna open out for our fire hydrant. Open out and lower with control. 8, 7, you should really feel this oblique working as well with this added resistance of the weight. Exhale. We're gonna combo or donkey kick with our fire hydrant in 3, 2, 1. So pause. I want you to donkey kick up to the sky, lower knee to knee, open for your fire hydrant. Close it down. We'll do 8. Donkey kick. 7. Donkey kick. Fire hydrant. You know what I mean. Hopefully. This is 5. Fire hydrant, then donkey kick. Here's 3. This is 2. 1. Give me one last fire hydrant. Lower that leg. Grab your weight, set it to the side. We're not done on this side. You can actually come down to both of your forearms. We're going to extend that leg out long behind you to find some length here. And we're just going to start with some lifts and lowers of that glute. It should already feel a little fatigued. So this is just going to be a superset and hitting some of those other glute muscles. This is 5, 4, 3, you hold it lifted. In 2, your gaze should be towards your fingertips. 1, pause here. Flex your foot. We're going to squeeze our heel into the midline of that right leg, and then inhale, release. Squeeze your butt cheeks together like we were doing in that exercise earlier, and then release. 8, really powerful exercise. If you're putting your brain into your butt. 6, squeeze. 5, try to hold that squeeze for a pause. 4, good you guys. 3, almost there. 2, kind of. And 1, squeeze. Bring that knee down. All right, we're gonna come onto our left hip, onto our side. I'm just gonna adjust my hair really quick. She's having all of the challenges today. Get a sip of water if you need it. I'm gonna take one. And grab your ball, because you're gonna need it. So, we're gonna lock our ball behind that right knee. And I'm just gonna come and lie down again on my hip. Now, from here, you can always bring your head all the way down onto your bicep. Either way, whether you're propped up on your hand or lying down, I want you to have that sense of engagement in this bottom oblique. We're going to work in some hip extension. So we're just going to start in this position with some fire hydrants, maintaining a squeeze on that ball. So we're engaging also that hamstring of the right side. You can put a hand onto the mat. You can keep a hand onto your hip to keep pressing it away from your ribs. Whatever feels good to you. Should be engaged through those abs though. We'll do 3 more like this. 1. Keep that leg at hip height. Make sure you're flexing through that foot. You're going to take it back into hip extension and sweep it back forward in line with your hip. Back into hip extension, and then you bring it forward. We'll do 8 like this, and then we're going to add on 7. Don't lose that ball. We're going to need it. 6. 5. As you bring that hip back, make sure you're squeezing your glute and check in that you're not rolling this top hip back. 4. We're going to add a double pulse of that ball in 3. 2, make sure you're keeping that knee lifted, don't let it fall. 1, hold it back, squeeze, squeeze on that ball, bring it forward. Send it back, squeeze, squeeze, bring it forward. Good. Squeeze, squeeze, and forward. Let's do 5, 4. We're going to add a lift of that knee and hip extension in 3. Squeeze, squeeze, 2. Send it back, squeeze, squeeze, 1. All right, now send it back, squeeze, squeeze, lift the leg, lower, return. This is the last flare. We press it back. I want you to double squeeze, lift it up, lower, and return. You've got it. 6 more. Squeeze, squeeze, lift, lower, return. Squeeze, squeeze, 5. You've got it, you guys. I know it burns. This is so good, though, to work the glute and hip extension. We don't get many chances to do this. It's really strengthening the outside of that glute muscle, all of those external hip muscles. Let's just do 2 more. Lift. In 1, I want you to just hold it back for our grand finale. Squeeze, squeeze, lift. We just lift and lower for 10, 9, 8. Don't dump through this bottom oblique. Keep it engaged. 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. All right, take a moment. Get a sip of water if you need to. We're going to do everything on the other side. So grab your weight, have your ball somewhere nearby. We start on our hands and knees. And we'll get into that left leg. So I'm going to lock this weight right behind that left leg. I'm going to be on my hands. You can certainly come down onto your forearms if that feels better for you. Just make sure you have either way a soft bend in those elbows, that you're squared off, and that you're also nice and engaged through your core. We're just going to start with those lifts, and we lower with control. Lift up, squeeze, and lower. Good. I feel like whether you have a weight or not, this is such an effective way to really connect into your body, use your brain to drive what muscle is working for you here. And it never seems to get any less challenging the time under tension with these exercises. And they'll make every other fitness modality or just movement that you're doing in life that much stronger. Good, we're going to add that double pulse up. So press up, pulse, pulse, lower knee to knee. Lift up, pulse, pulse, lower knee to knee. Let's go 8. Lift it up in pulse 7. Hold it up. 5, 4, 3. We hold it up just for 10 pulses in 2. In 1. Come up, just pulse up tiny for 10. Slow and control the heartbeat pulse. Check in with your core. Can you tense those right fingertips? 5, 4, 3. We come down onto that right forearm in 2. 1. Good. Come onto that forearm. Now we just open out for our fire hydrant for 10. 9, 8. It can be small as well. I'm not looking for you to change the shape of your torso, so don't open like this. Keep your torso nice and still, and keep your gaze long. I know I keep looking around and looking at you, but I want your neck in line with your spine. We're going to start to combo those 2 moves in 3. In 2. In 1. Good. So, donkey kick up, lower, knee to knee, fire hydrant, close it down. Let's do 8, 7, working that oblique, good, 5, 4, you get to ditch that weight, and 3, not that it makes that big of a difference, because we're still working that glute. Give me one more, donkey kick, and lower, take that weight, set it away, come onto your forearms, gaze again long towards your fingertips, lengthen that leg out, that left leg, we're going to continue working it as you know, we're going to lower it down and lift it up. Not changing the shape of our torso, engaging through our core, but really finding length and space from the femur in the hip socket. So I do want you to think about that notion as you're lengthening the leg out and away and down and long. Good. We're gonna find the flex of that foot here shortly and squeeze into the midline. In 3, in 2, in 1, hold it lifted, flex that foot, squeeze your butt cheeks together, and release, inhale, exhale, squeeze them, inhale, release, really good. Let's do 6, squeeze, hold it for a pause for 5, we'll come down onto that right side in 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo. Take a stretch back if you need it for a minute. You can sit into that hip, maybe sit into both hips. You can reach your arms to the opposite sides of the mat. But either way, we have to get into this other side, so we're going to grab our ball. We're going to lie down either on our bicep or propped up. Either way, lock that ball in behind your left knee. Make sure this bottom hip is right in line with your right knee, and then top knee in line with the top hip. Press your hip away from your ribs, and then we're just going to start by opening up for a fire hydrant in this position, and then lowering just to hip height. And here's where you can start to notice the differences side to side. Maybe you don't have as much rotation in one hip as the other. Always good things to be aware of and start to work on it as you do these unilateral exercises. That's why I really love this type of work. Think about pressing your hip forward in opposition as you lift from the knee to stay nice and stacked. Good. We'll do 3. We'll start to find that external rotation work in 2, in 1. So now you're just at hip height. You're going to sweep that leg back, squeeze, and return forward. We'll sweep it back, working that hip extension, trying to stay not just engaged in these bottom obliques, but also, again, keeping that torso from moving. You're just trying to use your glute to work that hip extension. We're going to add little squeezes of that ball in 4. Try to make sure these shoulders aren't creeping up and becoming earrings. I noticed that on myself on the first side as you start to fatigue and feel some tension. Try to relax that jaw. Good. In 1, take it back. Give me 2 squeezes. Bring it forward. Take it back. Squeeze, squeeze. Bring it forward. We have 8 more like that. Squeeze, squeeze. Bring it forward. We only have some finishing plank work after this, and then you will be all done for today. we're going to start to add that lift. So press it back, squeeze, squeeze, lift, lower, return. Press it back, squeeze, squeeze, lift, lower, return. Keep that knee up at hip height, don't let it drop. You've got this, you're so strong. 5. We hold it back just for those lifts. In 4. Keep connecting through your abs. In 3. Breathe. 2. 1. Forward. We go back. Squeeze, squeeze. Just lift and lower. Hold it back. You've got it. Let's go. 8, 7, 6. Lift from that knee, from that glute. 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo. Close it down. Bring yourself up. We will stretch at the end. Let's go ahead and just finish out with some good plank work here, you guys. This has been a challenging workout, so I'm really proud of you for sticking with it. We're going to take our ball, set your weights off to the side. You do not need them. We're going to start with some knee hovers here. So ball is just between those knees. I'm tucking my toes under. And same as we were talking about at the start of our bridge work, I want you to squeeze and contract your abs. Use your abs to lift your knees just an inch, hovering them just a kiss off that mat, and then use your abs to control them down slowly. It should take like a 2 or 3 count. Squeeze your abs, lift, and then slow 2, 3, lower. We'll do 5 like that, and then we'll add on. Control it down. The slower you can go, less reps, more effective. Right muscles. We could just use our glutes and our hips and our back to lift our knees, or we can force our abs to do that work for us. Or not force, engage them. We're engaging. I know words are so important here. Our abs, our core is our ally. We're doing this for them, for us. Good. We're going to do one more. Lower slowly. Now the next time you lift, make sure you have a nice soft bend in those elbows. Don't lock out. We're going to lift. We're going to pivot toes and knees over to the right. We're going to open through that right arm. We're going to set that hand down, come through center, pivot to the left. Open out through that left arm. Set it down, back to center and lower. We'll do 6 like that. So, exhale, pivot, open at the right, set it down, open at the left. Let's lift, open, set that hand down, but not the knees, to the left. Obviously, if you need to, you can absolutely set the knees down in between the sides. And you can also switch, so if you want to start to the left, come through center, open to the right, come through center, and lower. Good, you guys. We're going to just do one more after this, and then we'll cool it down. So here's your last one. Let's do it. Lift those knees. Open up. Set it down. Open to the left. Great work for the shoulders. Set those knees down. Take your ball. Put your hands on top of it. And just take a nice stretch back with your butt to your heels. Take a few deep breaths. Let your ears just fall in line with your biceps, your chest open up. Nice stretch to the shoulders, and then start to roll that ball toward you. Let's do a quick cool down here if you have time to stick with me. So we'll roll back down, and we're just gonna open our arms into a goal post position. We're going to bend our right knee in. We're going to grab the outside of that knee with our left hand and just do a nice twist of your torso, pulling that knee gently to the left side. Your gaze will go in the opposite direction toward that right arm. Just take a few breaths here. And then you'll guide that knee back. You can catch that right ankle with your left knee. Pull it in towards your chest using the back of that left thigh. Maybe press on that right knee with your right elbow to open up further and stretch that glute. And if you want more, you extend your left leg up toward the ceiling. And then as you exhale, start to bend that left leg at the knee, and you'll feel a deeper stretch here. But keep pressing your tailbone down toward the mat. The straighter you can keep your spine, the more glute stretch you'll get. And then we'll just do it on the other side. I'll lengthen through that right leg. I'm going to bend my left knee. I'm going to goalpost this left arm and then use the outside of that left knee to stretch that knee towards the right as I gaze toward the left. Take some breaths here. Thank your body for doing hard work. Catch that left ankle with your right knee. You can press with that left elbow into that left knee for additional stretch as you pull the back of your right thigh. Press that tailbone down. If you do want more, I don't know if I need more on this side. My left side is always tighter because I have scoliosis. I feel like a lot of Pilates instructors have scoliosis. Very interesting. And then start to bend that right knee a little. Getting a deeper stretch through that left glute. And then rock yourself on up. You are all finished for today. I would love to know what you thought of today's workout and what other props or exercises, body parts you would like to see. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.